AB on the track, yeah.
Glide. Anybody that knows me knows how much I glide Dragon Ball Z. It's been my childhood. Dragon Ball has been a cartoon that I've watched since Dragon Ball. And not just I didn't pick up at Z. I grew up on Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and the whole franchise. From me being more of a middle school Dragon Ball anime lover, it's things that I can't stand about what the current writers of today in 2021 are doing with my childhood favorite show. Alright, so I had an idea, right? I'm going to make my own Dragon Ball story. I always have little things in my mind. The Dragon Ball Orion story, this is how I saw the absolute ending saga of Dragon Ball. Not from Toei, not caring about selling no merch. This is just a story I'm passionate about. I wrote this not in a manga type form where I can just have these comic strips that just go with it and it quickly gets to the point to this isn't that. Dragon Ball Orion would be more like a novel, how I started writing it and how I started seeing things in my mind. This is going to read like a book. The problem I have though is the viewers. I'm not gonna because the Dragon Ball Orion, I personally as an individual know how it ends. I know where it's going, I know what to expect. I see the cartoons and stuff in my mind when I think about it. I'm good. Really, I'm writing this out for you, for people, for other humans to see what I'm thinking about. Because my perspective this is an original story by middle school about characters owned by Toei Animation. This is Dragon Ball Orion, my final saga to a wonderful story. But I'm gonna be real. This is a lot of work to type and write. If I don't have any views, wherever I stop, that'll just be where it's at. If each video only has 4 of 6 views, I'm not gonna put in all of this work to type all this up and organize my thoughts and feelings. And nobody gives a fuck but me. I keep it to myself. But I know I'm gonna at least give you 4 chapters, and then I'll be checking the response. I might end up reading more than 4 chapters. Just depends on how I feel. But Dragon Ball Orion, this is if the community gets behind it, glide. If y'all are gonna ignore me, then I'll keep it to myself. Here we go. Dragon Ball Orion, Chapter 1. Goku's birth mother, Gine, escaped planet Vegeta right before Frieza destroyed it. Looking out the window of her escape pod, she sees Bardock take on Frieza. As Bardock is being overwhelmed by Frieza, She closes her eyes and feels the explosion of the planet, knowing her husband and planet are no more. She is enraged at her helplessness, and all of her would-be sadness has turned her heart in that moment bitter and colder than she ever was. The escape pod began its incubation process, and her eyes stayed closed. In a deep slumber for 1 year and 29 days until the pod ran out of energy and crashed on the nearest planet, Gretchen. Gretchen is a planet home to no intelligent life, but is populated with savage, powerful animals of all shapes and sizes. It has gravity 5 times stronger than planet Vegeta. It always has a constant sun and moon in the sky. Thus, it forced her into her Ozara state permanently, never reverting back. This gave her the strength to survive over the years, gave her a newfound control never realized by any Saiyan she has ever known. Yet, spending so many years in solitude in her Ozara form has made her very primal. Having control of her conscious mind while transformed, she realizes how long it's been since she ate. Feeding on the life forms of Gretchen takes the edge off of her hunger. Battling for survival for every meal for over 40 years, she has injuries that are never recovering, and she doesn't understand why. She knows that she will only be able to fend off the native animals and eat for so long. While Gine rested, a parasite with a bubble-type body covered her while she was sleeping and was feeding on her. Think about Metroids. Do you remember the old Nintendo game Metroid? Picture one of those. Picture something like that. After sleeping for 11 hours, she cracked her eyes open and don't see anything unusual. The bubble parasite's body is clear as air to those trapped inside. But she did notice she was floating, and that made her open her eyes fully and look around. She noticed how drained she felt and how hard it was to even blink. All movement and bodily functions required maximum effort. She looked up and saw its heart hovering over her and realized instantly what had happened. She killed many of these life forms but was never caught by one like this. Losing more physical energy, she fell to the ground, unable to move. She was struggling to breathe, not because of a lack of air, but because her lungs felt like a ton of weight was wrapped around each lung. She was now old and tired. She thought about letting herself die, then thought of her husband fighting Frieza. They both knew they wasn't close to Frieza's power level, but her husband died fighting. Die fighting was their family motto. She whispered it to Kakarot before he left to Earth, and had it programmed into his space pod, playing over and over his entire journey. So in her Ozara form, she raged and let her ki release without no restraint, and she evaporated the bubble parasite and a quarter of the environment. Her power created a tornado that kept her from hurling into space and threw her unconscious, totally depleted body to another side of the planet. The destruction she caused also altered the planet's gravity, and the rest of Gretchen was now 179 times stronger than planet Vegeta. That's a lot of damn gravity. The new gravity crushed all the weaker life forms on the planet, and the stronger life forms were forced to the ground, unable to move. All life on the planet was slowly dying. Beerus and Whis were heading back to Earth to eat some delicious food when Beerus noted Gretchen's altered state. Beerus asked Whis to stop, and they began to examine the planet from space. And Beerus asked Whis, "What happened here?" And Whis responds, "It appears that a quarter, more or less, of planet Gretchen has been destroyed, my lord. It also appears that the event has altered the planet's normal gravity. It's way more intense than it should be. It must be horrible on the life forms there." Beerus says, "Let's go down and take a look, Whis." "Yes, my lord." Whis takes Beerus down to the surface of Gretchen, where they discover all of the life forms either forced to the ground by the gravity or crushed against the ground by the gravity into mush. Whis and Beerus aren't affected by the gravity at all. As they walk what's left of the planet's surface, seeing all the native life who wasn't instantly killed by the gravity yell out in pain. Beerus passes judgment to simply destroy the planet, and Beerus' stomach growls. And Whis agrees and says, "I do hope you be quick about it, my lord, because your body sounds like it will be destroyed by its hunger." As Beerus and Whis began to hover up toward space to destroy the planet, they see Guinea's unconscious body. Beerus asks Whis, "Is that a Saiyan?" Whis looks sternly and says, "I believe it is, my lord." They flew down next to her and examined her body. Whis said, "It seems the Saiyan is unconscious, but still alive. Barely." Whis then uses his staff to get the history of who the Saiyan is and gasps loudly with shock. Beerus asks, "What is it, Whis?" And Whis tells him, "It's Goku's mother, my lord." Beerus ponders on just destroying her with the planet. Then Whis interrupts his thoughts. "You know, my lord, Goku may take offense to you killing his mother," with a disappointing frown. "And I'm not so sure you can even beat Goku now if he attacked you with the rage of losing his mother." And Beerus says, "Whatever, Whis, I can handle the Saiyan." And Whis says, "I'm not certain. He has gained on you, blah, 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 blah. Hey, y'all, forgive me. I'm not certain. He has gained on you while you have been napping and overeating," in a strict parental tone. "Let's bring her with us," Beerus says, and he destroys what's left of Gretchen, and they begin heading toward Earth with Goku's mother. And that is the end of chapter 1. You see what I'm saying, y'all? Like, this ain't just no shit I'm just farting out my ass. Like, This is really taking time and effort. You need some views and likes. Glide with me. Dragon Ball Orion, middle school.